welcome to class. Today I'm going to discuss a poem called Be the Best. The poet is Douglas Malloch, who is an American poet and short story writer. Now let's know something about Douglas Malloch. You can look into your books. Douglas Malloch, who was an American poet, he is known for the philosophy of contentment, means satisfaction. His works emphasize the importance of being happy and content with one's life instead of always yearning for more. So I think you got the idea of what this poem is about almost, because Douglas Malloch highlighted and pointed out on some of the most important things about life. His philosophies of life is that a person should be happy with whatever he or she has, than other than complaining and yearning or desiring for more and more. And we know this desire in human beings makes him unhappy and dissatisfied all through his life. So let's read through the lines of the poem. Before we read the poem, you see the introduction here. You can ask these questions to yourself. Have you ever wished that you were someone else? Yeah, we always dream of, I wish I was like that person, and I wish I had, whatever that person has, I had that. Wow, what a life I would have led. We always think about someone else, pretending to be someone else or imagining ourselves to be in someone's place. If yes, then why? Why do we pretend to be someone else, or why we imagine to be in, like someone else? Don't you think that it would be a waste of the person that you are? Don't you think you're wasting our present moment thinking about something, about someone all the time and trying to be in his place, in his life? Come on, we cannot be like, Shah Rukh Khan, or like, any other film actors like Katrina Kaif. We cannot be in their place. They are different from us. People imagine that whatever they're enjoying, we need to enjoy. No, it's not like that. Now, nobody knows how to be the best you can be. So, whatever we are, can we not try to be the best? Yes, we can. Accept yourself. You need to accept yourself and learn how to, be yourself and learn to take the best of whatever you have. So, let us read this poem and find out what the poet is trying to tell us. If you can't be a pine on the top of the hill, be a scrub in the valley, but be the best little scrub by the side of the rill. Be a bush if you can't be a tree. So, in the very first stanza, the poet is telling us that if you cannot be a tall pine, you can be a small bush. You can be a small bush around, or scrub in the valley. So, you need not be in the mountain hill to be a tall pine. Indirectly, it is telling us that if you cannot be someone very great in life, or you may not be having the highest position in life, whatever position you have, you can become prominent through it. The best little scrub by the side of the reel. Reel, here you can say the meaning of reel means a small stream. If you were a little scrub, scrub means small bush near a stream, you can be beautiful. You can bring beauty around that area. Be a bush if you can't be a tree. And if you cannot be a tall tree, you can be a small bush. So it is not that the trees, you have to be a tall tree to prove yourself. You can even be a bush and still be somebody. Now, very first stanza is giving beautiful messages. And you see that whatever you are, small or big, or even if you cannot achieve the greatest thing in life, you should learn how to be satisfied in whatever way you have. Now, let's look at the second stanza of the poem. If you can't be a bush, be a bit of the grass, and some highway happier make. Now, if you cannot be a bush, be a bit of the grass. Now, if you cannot be a bush, you can be a little grass, a bit of a grass around. And some highway happier make. And as people travel to the highway, they see beautiful grass growing even in a highway, in a barren highway or anywhere far away. You can really bring beauty there. If you can't be a muskie, then just be a bass. Muskie and bass are kinds of types of fish. A muskie is a large, heavy, and relatively uncommon freshwater fish of North America, and bass is an edible fish. So, muskie is a very rare fish. It's a freshwater fish. You hardly see it, and it's a big fish. Whereas bass is a small edible fish, very common. It is not uncommon. So, when you do not have to be very famous to be someone. You don't have to do great things. You cannot be big and, or you cannot be tall to be someone. You can be just small as a bass and a little common. There'll be no difference. You can still be somebody. At least the fish is edible. It brings taste to the mouth or tongue, just like a freshwater fish muskie, but the liveliest bass in the lake. So you can be the liveliest bass in a lake. We can see this little freshwater fish, small fish moving around happily in the stream water. And as the fish moves around, it brings a kind of liveliness. When you see it, you feel happy about them, the happiness of the fish moving around. And if you don't see a big fish like muskie, is enough, but you can get happiness even at a little fish. So it's not about size, here. Size does not matter. What it matters is that what beauty you bring to the surrounding, what beauty you bring to the world. We can't all be captains. We have got to be crew. There's something for all of us here. There's big work to do and there's lesser to do. And then the task we must do is the near. So, in the third stanza, the poet is telling that everyone cannot become captains. Some people have to be the crew. So, everyone cannot be singers. Some people have to be listeners. It's like that. And there's something for all of us to do. It's not that, everyone has to be a captain. There are other roles to play in life. It is not one role. So, we have our different roles in life. There is big work to do and there is lesser to do. And there is big work to do in this world. We have bigger works to do. Even smaller works are also important. And the task we must do is the near. And the task, that whatever work you do should be the one that is closer to you, is meaningful to you. Final stanza: if you can't be a highway, then just be a trail. So you don't have to be a big broad highway. Highway, I hope you all know, is a main road where we go from one place to another. We call it highway. You can even become a small way or trail. If you can't be the sun, be a star. You cannot be the biggest star in the world like the sun. You can be a small star twinkling and bringing light. It isn't by size that you win or you fail. Be the best of whatever you are. It's beautiful. So it is not about size and about looks or about anything of a criteria. There is no criteria of success here. Success can come to you and happiness can come to you if you try to be the best. So this poem is very meaningful. Read through the poem again and again, children. I hope you have understood, and we'll talk about more on the poem about the poetic devices. The rhyme scheme of the poem is A B A B all through the four stanzas. We have alliteration next, a repetition of consonant sounds. In the second line, be a scrub in the valley but be, B sound is repeated. And the best little scrub by the side of the hill in the third line, scrub and side are alliterations. Then again, we have alliteration in the second stanza. The first line, if you can't be a bush, be a bit. The B sound is repeated here. Then in the second line, highway happier, her sound is repeated. Then again in the last line, liveliest lake, L sound, and but and bass, B sound is repeated. So there are more alliteration in the other two stanzas, so try to find out. So goodbye and meet you in the next class.